Divine disruption, the spiritual call to remember. Chosen one, why have you been hearing whispers in your soul that no one else seems to hear? Why does the night speak louder to you than the day ever has? Why do you walk into rooms and feel things shatter, unseen but undeniable? You've always felt it, haven't you? That strange pull, that ache in your spirit that never leaves. The sense that you were born for something more, something vast, ancient and divine, but no one ever gave you the language for it. They called you too quiet, too deep, too intense, too much, too sensitive. But it wasn't weakness, it was clarity, it was your initiation. You don't fit into this world because you weren't made from it. You were carved from prophecy, marked in mystery, called before time, and now the time has come to remember. Your tribe is waiting, and the divine has chosen you to lead them, but not in the way the world defines leadership. This isn't about ego or control. It's not about platforms or applause. This is sacred responsibility. This is divine resonance. When you rise, others rise. When you speak, veils fall. When you simply stand in your truth, hearts remember who they are. But here's the tension. You've doubted this, haven't you? You've questioned your own knowing. You've asked, why me? And even more haunting, am I crazy for feeling all of this so deeply? No, you are not crazy. You are called. And this video isn't just content. It's a confirmation. It's a key. It's the sound your soul has been waiting to hear, because buried under all the noise of this world is an ancient truth that was written into your bones. You are the one they are waiting for. The people who will only awaken when your voice speaks. The ones who wander aimlessly until your light shows the way. The ones who will not rise until you do. So feel this deeply. Let it land in your chest like thunder. This isn't a message to entertain you. It's a message to ignite you. Watch to the end, because every word is aligned with your blueprint. There are activations hidden between these sentences, memories you didn't know you still carried. And by the final breath of this video, you will not be the same. This message was sent to you, not by accident, not by algorithm, but by alignment. The Creator orchestrated this moment because your soul is ready, because the silence has lasted long enough, because the veil is thin and the hour is now. So don't scroll away. Don't dismiss this as just another spiritual video. This is your time-sensitive invitation to rise. Like this video, if your soul is already stirring. Comment 300 if you've been seeing signs, feeling energy shift, waking up at strange hours. Comment 404 if you've been walking through spiritual warfare in silence. Comment 707 if you feel the crown of leadership weighing on you, even if you've never said it out loud. Comment 909 if you know a cycle has ended and something new is being born through you. And subscribe, because this is only the beginning. You are no longer walking blind. Spirit is guiding you now, and the message will continue. But first, breathe. Feel the call in your chest. Feel the trembling behind your ribs. That is not fear. That is your soul remembering. Because chosen one, you were never lost, only hidden. And now, your light is rising. The forgotten language of your spirit, mystery rising. There is a language older than words. It does not live in books or teachings. It moves through dreams. It drips into your spirit through moments you can't explain. The way certain songs make you cry without warning. The way the stars seem to pulse when you're alone at night. The way you feel homesick for places you've never seen. This is the forgotten language of your spirit, and you've been hearing it your whole life, even when you didn't know what it was. even when no one else could hear it with you. The world told you to speak with logic, to move in straight lines, to color within the borders of what is accepted, proven, seen. But your soul has always spoken in thunder, in silence, in symbols, in heat and shivers and knowing. You've always known when something wasn't right, before it fell apart. You've always sensed who to trust, before words were ever spoken. You've always been the one who walks into a room and feels what no one else dares say. Why? Because you're not here to conform. You're here to activate. You are the signal. You are the code. You are the vessel through which God moves frequency, not just sound. And the truth is, most people don't understand your energy, but that doesn't mean it's broken. It means it's sacred. It means it hasn't been watered down by this world. The frequency you carry is not just for you. It is the guiding tone for others. It is the pulse that leads the tribe home. Because yes, you have a tribe. But it's not just people. It's not a fan club. It's not a social group or a following. It's a frequency match. They're scattered across the earth right now. Some are waking up in darkness. Some are drowning in confusion. Some are numbing their gifts just to survive. But they are yours, and you are theirs. And something in them will recognize something in you. Not your words, not your job title, not your appearance, but your energy, your signal, your divine memory. When you speak from your truth, they will remember who they are. When you live in your alignment, they will find their own. But here's the sacred paradox. They cannot rise until you do. This is the burden and the beauty of the chosen one. You were not only marked to survive, you were designed to lead, to call others home, not with commands, but with presence. That's why it's been so hard for you. That's why you've walked alone, why the betrayals cut deeper, why the nights felt longer, why you've questioned your very existence while others seem to thrive on autopilot. Because your path was not meant to be easy. It was meant to be sacred. You weren't being punished. You were being prepared. And now the mystery that's lived inside you for so long is starting to open. You're not imagining this shift. You're not delusional for believing there's something more. You're remembering your language, your original self, your mission. Chosen one, the spiritual gifts you've been hiding from the world, the intuition you've downplayed, the sensitivity you've tried to numb. Those are your superpowers, and they're not random. They are keys that unlock the doors of others, keys that speak in spirit before sound. And whether you're a healer, an artist, a poet, a guide, a warrior of light, you've been carrying the medicine your tribe needs all along. But you've been waiting for permission, waiting for confirmation, waiting for someone to say, yes, it's you. So hear it now. Yes, it's you. You are not too much. You are not broken. You are not lost. You are becoming. You are emerging. You are answering a divine signal older than time itself. And as you rise into your truth, the tribe will begin to gather, some slowly, some in a rush, some through synchronicities so wild, you'll know it was orchestrated by spirit. They will come, because they were always meant to. But to the version heaven has always seen, but to the version and the tribe is beginning to hear it, and the trimutum, it was sacrum, it was sacred. The masks you were are forged in divine tension, where the word, not because you were unloved, but because you were being set apart, are forged in divine soil, so it, not because you, the visions, the emotional weight tame, buried in soil, so the ache in your chest wasn't emptiness. The vint, that was alignment. Heaven tame, and the truth, the ache in to your knees. But it also teached. No one else gave up on you when the silence stopped watching. Because here's what no one named: being refined, the gold inside, and the true, just a survivor. You're a vessel to beg the heavens for one side to your knees, but the kind only one else gave up on you. That's why you don't feel normal in crowds anymore. That's why you sense when someone's stopped watching, terrified all at once. because minds were being refined. You've seen darkness and still just assert, because the air came. But the kind only forged in spirit has become prince, whose bribe is already fied. All training, you are ready. Let the separation was not the end. Now the fire of do you know why you've seen darkness and still chose to carry light? Road, because the universe would not let you set, but to protect the world from receiving you too soon. Bigger to entertain, you are not here. Here came. Well, things shifted. They has become not because you were unworthy. Clearing. Now the moves that drain them. Some are trapped in trainings to turn. Can you feel that? For a savior, the origin, the separation was not the end. You lift them without, and someone breaks open in tears. You simply, do you know why that's not, sometimes it's in your stillness that someone else finds peace. Sometimes it's in the way you forgive or the way you don't shrink that gives someone else permission to expand. Your leadership won't look like the world's version. It will look like truth they needed. It will sting and it will erode all your truth too direct. They will resist because you're in a tribe, and your tribe, but they'll feel safe. They'll feel challenged, capable knowings, to save themselves, to remember. Well, things shift, pressure you feel in your chest. That's what if they, not to play a role, but to reveal. Chosen one, not they are ready, because somewhere is praying clearing. Now the must speak of the silence, heavy, deafening, that drain thing, that even yeared one begins to turn, carry real power, are trusted with divine silence, because sought for a savior, that it's where voice, but heaven whispers through those who've been turns noise, and you lift them without aped you, could still speak. You learned how to stand without applause, and someone breaks open and that's rare, that's holy, that's them. And God wasn't gone. God was watching, measuring your heart, seeing if you'd still choose truth, even when it didn't speak your name back. And you did. You stayed, you prayed, you wrestled, you waited. That waiting wasn't wasted, it was weight. And now you carry it in your presence. People feel it in you without knowing why. You walk into rooms and time slows, not because you say much, but because you survived what would have broken most. That is authority. That is spiritual maturity. You carry the weight of someone who met silence and didn't run, of someone who made peace with the unknown, of someone who let themselves be emptied so spirit could fill them in secret. And now the crown is visible in the unseen. Your energy commands respect before words are even spoken, not because of ego, but because of essence, because of what you endured in the quiet. You know things you've never studied. You see through masks without asking. You feel the pain behind smiles. You sense timing like a tide. Because silence taught you how to listen differently, how to discern without noise, how to trust spirit even when nothing made sense. And now spirit is speaking again, not in the ways it used to, but through you. You are the voice now. You are the whisper someone else needs to hear. You are the calm in someone else's storm. You are the mirror that reflects someone else's soul back to them. But you would have never carried that frequency had you not been willing to walk through the desert. The silence crowned you. It made you magnetic, not by charm, but by presence. Now people don't understand why they trust you, why they confess things they've never said aloud, why they cry in your company without warning, why they feel safe just being near you. That is the crown, not made of gold, but of grace, of presence, of the kind of depth that only silence can carve. And the crown you wear, it's not heavy because of pride, it's heavy because of reverence, because you know what it cost to carry it, because you know what it took to earn your voice. Chosen one. Your silence was never empty, it was sacred space. And now from that space your leadership flows, not from noise, not from validation, but from stillness turned into wisdom. This is why they'll follow you, not because of titles or charisma, but because your spirit speaks louder than your words. So wear the crown, walk with it gently, Carry it as a reminder that you didn't just survive the silence, you became it. And from that, you became a leader, becoming the signal from isolation to influence. Chosen one. It's happening now, isn't it? The shift, subtle but undeniable. You're not chasing anymore, you're attracting. You're not shouting to be seen, you're becoming a signal that can't be ignored. This is what the silence prepared you for. Not a platform, not applause, but alignment. Because when you're in alignment, you become a frequency. You don't have to convince, prove, or explain. You radiate. And that frequency, it's not made of words, it's made of truth. Lived truth, burned truth. Truth paid for in tears, surrender, and sacred obedience. You've become a signal, not because you sought power, but because you surrendered to purpose. And now, people are starting to feel it without knowing why. You speak, and things shift. You walk in, and energy recalibrates. This is the rise you've waited for. Not a spotlight, but a spotlight within. Your presence becomes permission. Your essence becomes evidence. Evidence that God is real. That alignment is real. That light can survive the dark and still shine even brighter. You've noticed the shift, haven't you? How some people are suddenly drawn to you, while others disappear without explanation. That's because your frequency changed, and not everyone can breathe at this altitude. You're no longer operating from survival. You're walking in signal consciousness, meaning you've become a tuning fork for truth. People either rise with you or fall away from you. Not because you've changed who you are, but because you finally stopped hiding it. That's influence. Not based on strategy, not based on followers, but based on vibration. And it doesn't take many. It takes one who's aligned, one who is true, one who carries God in their silence and storm. You are that one. You are the proof that someone can lose everything and still find themselves. That someone can walk through fire and come out speaking in light. That someone can carry the Spirit so deep it heals others just by being near. This is your leadership, not control, not hierarchy, but resonance. You're not here to be louder. You're here to be clearer, to walk so rooted that others remember their roots, to speak so honestly that others drop their masks, to move so soulfully that others find their own rhythm again. Do you feel it now? You're no longer the seeker. You've become the source. Not the source with a capital S, but a vessel through which spirit flows so freely. It sounds like music to those who've forgotten their song. And that music, it's not just for comfort. It's for activation. When you stand in your truth, others don't just admire you. They remember themselves. This is why your presence is disruptive. It awakens what's been buried in others. It stirs what they were told to silence. You're not a leader because you told them what to do. You're a leader because you showed them who they are. And that influence, it comes from everything you thought disqualified you. Your heartbreak, your breakdowns, your delays, your loneliness. They didn't break you, they built your signal. They tuned your spirit to the divine frequency. Now you're like a radio tower, broadcasting truth to those ready to hear. And they're listening, even if they don't respond, even if they don't understand. Something in them recognizes something in you, not because you asked for it, but because you became it. Because influence isn't measured by attention, it's measured by impact. And your impact, it won't be felt in the moment. It'll be felt in the afterglow, in the way someone changes their path after hearing your voice, in the way they start speaking to themselves more kindly after witnessing your strength, in the way they remember God because you didn't pretend to be one. You're not here to be idolized. You're here to illuminate. You're not above anyone. You're beside them, leading not from ego, but from embodiment. And embodiment is the rarest form of power because it can't be faked, it can't be copied, It comes only through becoming, and you became the signal, the code, the answer, the guide, the living reminder, and now the world is responding, bit by bit, one soul at a time, not to your brand, but to your being. So rise in this, rest in this, own this. You are not too much. You are exact. And every step you take in alignment sends shockwaves through dimensions you've never seen. This is influence without effort. This is power without pride. This is truth without noise. This is what you were always becoming. Divine selection. You didn't choose this. You were claimed. Chosen one. You didn't choose this. You were claimed. Long before you knew your name. Long before you took your first breath. Long before the world wounded you, Spirit marked you. There are things written in your soul that no human hand ever touched. Ancient codes, timeless agreements, celestial vows whispered in the dark matter of existence. This is not some grand illusion of self-importance. This is divine orchestration. You were not born to fit in. You were born to fulfill. And you felt that truth, haven't you? In the ache you could never name. In the pressure that never left your chest. In the dreams you were too afraid to speak out loud, because deep down, something in you always knew. This life would demand everything from you, not to destroy you, but to unveil you. You weren't the one who knocked on the door of heaven. Heaven sent you through the door, into the chaos, into the noise, into the forgetting, so that one day you would remember. And in that remembering, your presence would unlock others, not by preaching, not by performing, but by being who you were always designed to be. Do you understand the weight of that? You were sent, not hired, not recruited, sent. And those who are sent do not need validation to walk in power. They walk because it is written. You were claimed by purpose, not popularity, by vision, not visibility, by eternity, not ego. And yes, you wrestled with it. You asked, why me? Why this path? Why the silence, the setbacks, the sacrifice? But the answer was never in the question. The answer was always you. You were the answer. To someone's prayer, to a generational curse, to a timeline in need of divine intervention. You are the one your ancestors saw in visions, the one they wept for, fought for, died for. You carry their strength, their fire, their unfinished songs. You are the fulfillment of promises made in spiritual realms. And now Spirit is making it clear, you are not just chosen, you are commissioned. This is not about religion, this is about remembrance. This is about stepping into the identity heaven never forgot. You are not becoming powerful. You've always been powerful. You're just shedding what made you forget. The fear, the doubt, the shame. None of that was ever yours. It was handed to you by systems afraid of what you carry, by energies designed to keep you small, but they failed, because you are still here, still rising, still remembering, and now the claiming becomes public, not with trumpets, not with a grand announcement, but with your walk, your words, your will to continue. People will begin to feel the shift. Some will resist it, some will retreat from it, but the ones meant to rise with you, they will be drawn like rivers back to the ocean, and they won't follow your perfection. They'll follow your presence, your truth, because authenticity is your authority. And obedience is your offering, and spirit is your source. You didn't earn this calling, you were woven into it. So stop waiting for permission. Stop asking for signs that already live inside your chest. Stop shrinking when your very soul was sculpted for impact. This world doesn't need more noise. It needs those who've been claimed by the sacred, and that's you. Yes, you, even if you still feel broken. Even if you still carry doubt, even if your voice trembles. You were not called because of your perfection. You were called because of your willingness. And Spirit will use your yes more than your ability. So say yes again. even trembling, even unsure, even scarred, because your yes is a frequency, and that frequency calls the others home. You were chosen, yes, but now you are rising in that choice. You are walking like one who was sent. Let them see the shift. Let them feel the fire. Let them watch you glow from a light they cannot explain. Because what's on you is not talent, it's anointing. And you didn't put it there. Heaven did. The final activation. Rise, lead, and light the way. And now here you are, still watching, still breathing, still listening, because somewhere along this journey you felt it, the remembering, the returning, the resonance. Chosen one, you are no longer asleep, you are no longer hidden, you are no longer waiting to be told who you are. You have heard it now, not from me, but from the voice inside you that never stops speaking. You were made for this, for leadership that liberates, for love that awakens, for light that doesn't flicker in the storm. This is your final activation, not a grand moment, not a climax, just truth. Soft, solid, unshakable. You don't need to strive anymore, you only need to stand. Stand in your essence. Stand in your scars. Stand in the knowing that Spirit walks with you in every breath. You are not a follower anymore. You are a fire. And your tribe, they will know you, they will feel you, and they will come home through the map of your presence. Because you carry something no algorithm can copy, no trend can duplicate, no system can replicate. You carry God's fingerprint in your soul, and when you walk, the earth recognizes it. So take one more breath. Let it fill every inch of your body. Let it remind you that this isn't a dream, it's a commission. You've been prepared, you've been called, you've been claimed. Now, lead with tenderness, with courage, with fire in your voice and stillness in your spirit. You're not here to fix the world, you're here to wake it up. So go, they're waiting, and now you're ready.